Hello and welcome to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I'm Kelly. Today we're doing another reading that was requested from the Ko-fi page. This time they're requesting 17's member Jeonghan, and I think we're doing a career reading and also an ideal partner reading. So thank you so much for your donation. Your patronage is very, very appreciated. And obviously if anybody else is interested in getting a custom reading done by me, you can head over to the Ko-fi page. The link is in the description, and you can make a donation there and just ask for whatever K-pop reading you're interested in, and usually I get to it within a week. You should get it basically the next time I record. I will do your reading. So really appreciate you guys so much. Okay, so we're gonna do the Dreams of Gaia tarot. I want to use it today because I just got the matching messenger oracle in the mail, so we'll work with both of those today for the career reading, and then I'll do my usual what are they, Caroline Miss archetype cards and spellcasting oracle for the ideal partner. So if you've seen any of my other ideal partner readings, you know how that goes, but that'll be next, so just sit tight. We're going to do the career reading right now. And those familiar with tarot, if you've never seen the Dreams of Gaia tarot, the one I'm using right now, it does have its own kind of similar but different system than, say, the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith or the Thoth tarot. So if you see me reading the cards slightly differently, they are elemental in structure instead of the suits. So they're going to have slightly different meanings sometimes. Okay, get shuffled and we'll get going on Jeonghan. How is your career looking? What can we expect to see in the future for Jeonghan? King of Earth, the 10 of Fire in reverse, the 7 of Earth, Love, the 8 of Fire in reverse, the 7 of Water in reverse, Knowledge, the 6 of Fire upright, the 2 of Fire upright, and the 7 of Air. Okay, very interesting. Let's make sure we got all these cards out here. Try to get them nice and center. Let's see. So we have the King of Earth here, and this is generally being pretty successful. This is about having what you need, being resourceful, being successful. You know, he's not only rich in like material items, but he's also like a person that's like, he's the embodiment of like growth, of someone who wants to continually also do more. He wants to work and have more. So starting off, it's a really good card. It just means not only does he feel like he has a lot at his disposal, a lot of help, a lot of support, a lot of financial backing, but he's also wanting to grow. Then we have the 10 of Fire. And the 10 of Fire talks about kind of not having a lot of confidence. It's really, here, I'll show you upright just so you can see. I love these cards. I love the artwork. You know, it's like not having everything aligned. He's not, even though he's growing, he doesn't have like all of his ducks in order, so to speak. It's like, you know, like his chakra, it's almost like not being in tune with yourself. Like there's a part of him that's just not in tune, and it's causing some problems for him to move forward. And I feel like this is saying like in a solo kind of way. It's like he's still figuring out who he is creatively, because fire is generally speaking creative. Passions. It's like he's still figuring out what he's passionate about. Like, he's successful, he's in a place where he has resources, but he doesn't really know how he wants to utilize those resources yet. And then we have the seven of earth, which is also about grounding. It's about finding your center. It's about taking that time to like meditate and seek for yourself. He may need to take some time away to figure out what he really, really wants. He may be feeling like the current situation he's in, he's always being pulled a whole bunch of different directions, and he doesn't have time to really seek out what he wants to. There may be parts of himself he still doesn't really know yet. So this is about taking that time. It's also the snake here really focusing on those heart and solar plexus chakras. So it's about what he loves, and we'll get to that with the love card too, and like where his confidence is. So he needs to take some time to really, really think about that. And for a career reading is saying, I think it's going to take a lot of time. Because we have love, and this could mean directly that he could be distracted with, the pursuit. He could be distracted with someone pursuing him, but it could also just mean that he needs to kind of look inward to find and pursue the things that he loves and that he's passionate about. There may be some issues he has with self-acceptance. Maybe he is concerned that what he likes doesn't suit the group, or won't be popular, or the company won't like it. I'm not sure. But there's an issue here with pursuing love, but almost not the right kind of love. He may be getting love as a distraction, not using love to like push himself and his self-worth and his confidence and his direction in life forward. So he's going to have to look out for that. And the reason I say that, especially that it could be more in a negative light, is because we also have the Eight of Fire here in reverse. And this is your Phoenix. This is your sense of purpose. This is your sense of that's like, again, that like self-purpose, that self-knowing, and it's kind of reassuring. I'm tripping over my tongue today. It's showing that he's lacking. We're seeing a lack of direction for himself. I just over and over, it seems to see like he's not sure what he's passionate about. So as far as career goes, he may be pretty confident just riding the line right now and being with the group. And we're not seeing a lot of like leadership desires here. I'm not seeing a huge amount of creative desires. And it's not to say he won't have them, but he may not feel completely confident in them. It may be more that he's being pushed into those things, and they may not be exactly what he wants for himself. Because we also have the Seven of Water, and this is about not going with the flow. Like, he may feel like he's a bit against the grain. He may feel like what he wants, again, isn't what's going to be popular or good for the image that he's been given by the company or that the group presents. He may want to be in a completely different direction. So this is about, like, deep down there's a part of it that it's lacking. He feels he's lacking in acceptance. Allegedly, possibly for entertainment purposes only. Remember, tarot readings are for fun, guys. Okay. So knowledge. So he is still seeking knowledge, and a lot of these cards hereafter are talking about collaboration and mentorship. So I do think eventually he will choose a direction for his life, for his purpose. We do have a couple more fire, so it could definitely be in the creative realm that he continues to pursue, but he may be a bit of a late bloomer. He either is going to accept finally the avenues he's allowed to pursue, and at an older age maybe he'll understand or find his place in the lane. But it's going to take him a while. It's going to take him quite a while, because the six of fire is about kind of compromise, diplomacy. It could be too that he'll have to wait until they negotiate contracts again to get permission or support in what he's doing. He may have to come to the table here, and you know, they're meeting before the king and they're sorting out their problems, right? He may have to wait until he is in a position to discuss where he wants to go with his career, when he feels it'll be more accepted. Or it could just be that he will finally just accept that he has to make the best of the situation that he's in. I mean, he's not in a bad situation. He just seems like he may have started from so young. He never really put a lot of stock in what he wanted, what he could bring to the table, or where his true passions lied, or just like his own musical color. Maybe he's intimidated because he feels like other people around him are better at it than he is. You know, he's in a large group. There's a lot of, you know, competition within the group. He could feel like he's secondary, and it's going to take a long time for his confidence to really bloom. And then we have the Two of Fire, which talks about teamwork, talks about collaboration, talks about two worlds meeting and becoming one, right? And we're also, this deck has a lot to do with chakra, so we're talking about root and solar plexus energy kind of merging here in the sacral chakra. So it's about his confidence in his passion, and like his actual sense of self all finally merging in a way, right? So I think he may have to find other people who are into kind of the direction he wants to go once he's figured that out. So we'll probably see him doing more collaborations in the future with people who are either in other groups or from other labels or from other genres of music completely. Could be international collaborations, who knows? But I think in the future we'll see him working with people that are bringing out more of who he truly feels he is. And then the Seven of Air talks about mentorship. It talks about even spirituality. He may get more into a religious, or he may become more religious as he gets older, which is pretty normal. He may find himself doing more to benefit his local religious and spiritual places of worship around him. He may just find support and confidence from that atmosphere. Either way, it's something like as he gets older, he will become more spiritual and more connected to that purpose, and that will become more of a driving factor for him. So it kind of will give him more stability when he's, you know, working, and when he's looking for validation in who he is and who he becomes in the future. So that's what the tarot has told me. So I'm going to go ahead and pull our oracle cards now. We'll pull a few oracles and see if we can't get some more information on Jeonghan and his career. Oh, this is not the one I wanted. Let me find my, I think it's in this one actually. No, it's in this one. I just put a bunch of my decks in new bags and I couldn't remember which bag I put it in. So I think it's this one. Ah, yay, okay, it is. It's this bag. So we're going to see any more information we'll need, or any more information leading to where Jeonghan's going in the future. And this is the Messenger Oracle, which is a matching oracle for the Dreams of Gaia, or at least it's done by the same creator. I honestly, oh, my book, here we go. The creator is Raven Fallon, I believe is how you pronounce her name. Okay, one more quick shuffle. Oops. It's always funny when the tarots are oracle size and the oracles are tarot size. Okay, so let's see what is in store for Jeonghan. Respect your boundaries. A new day dawns. And stay strong. Okay. So respect your boundaries kind of talks about if he's struggling with his passion, it means he's probably not really fighting for it. And if people know maybe you're more passive, maybe you're not as aggressive with what you want and what you're fighting for, he's like, again, he's in a big group. He can get kind of talked over. He can get pushed to the back by the louder voices, by the more aggressive, the hungrier members that are wanting solo time or camera time or those kind of things. And he needs to be careful that they're respecting his boundaries. They're respecting what he wants, and he needs to fight for that time that he deserves, right? I think it may have come more natural to him a little bit when he was younger because he's a visual member as far as I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I think, you know, the camera naturally found him more and he didn't have to do as much. But now that it's been a few years and certain members are really coming into their own, he needs to make sure he's also doing that, and he's not going to let opportunities pass him by, and he's not going to let other people, you know, push him out of the spotlight he deserves. So a new day dawns is really about, again, not being fearful, really pursuing your dreams and who you want to become, who you see yourself as. It's time for him, again, these cards kind of reiterate, it's time for him to really push forward and not be afraid to go after what he wants and believe in himself. He really needs to believe in himself, and he really needs to fight for what he wants, or it's really easy for him to get left behind. Stay strong. It's basically, you know, pretty straightforward. It's telling that he's going to have ups and downs, he's going to have success, and he's going to have failures, and he needs to not let those failures deter him. He needs to make sure every time he falls down that he gets back up, because he will be successful as long as he continues to fight for what he wants. He has people that love and support him, and he has the talent. He just needs to give himself direction and permission, basically. So he just needs to know that you don't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. He's going to have a few failures. He's going to stumble, but if he keeps fighting, he'll get there. So over and over again, I think this just tells us he needs to commit, and he needs to believe in himself. He needs to have more self-confidence, and he will get there. He will find success, but I just think he's going to be a late bloomer. So let me go ahead and pull up some of these cards, and I will go ahead and do the ideal partner reading now. Alrighty, so if you've seen my other ideal partner readings, you will know that I layer this reading. I will put down 6 or more, depending if we have jumpers, 6 archetype cards, and then I will layer them with the spellcasting oracle card so we can get not only the trait, but why that would be ideal for them, or why they would seek that out. So we have Queen, Rebel, Mystic, Athlete in the shadow aspect, Visionary, and Saboteur. And we'll go ahead and get our second layer. Trying to make sure you guys can see everything with this new set up, but I might have to stack them a little bit more on top of themselves, and I will obviously hold them up so you can see everything. Finding freedom, empowerment, life purpose, trust, and career. So we have Queen and Finding. All right, I had to look that one up because I've actually never pulled this Finding card before in all my ideal partners, which is really interesting. But it definitely speaks on finding something you thought you lost. So in this case, we're talking about Queen in the Light is radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. Now, when I do these readings, I always keep them pretty gender free because I do not speculate on idols that are LGBTQ plus. You know, I like to let everyone have their preferences remain private, right? I'm not trying to out anybody or dismiss anyone, right? So we're going to just say this is about feminine aspects. So it could be reminding, I mean, Queen for Jeonghan also, I think Jeonghan radiates a regal feminine energy a lot as it is. I think that's kind of how he's, at least early on, was marketed. So like to be like, maybe he needs to be reminded of like what brought people's attention, and also maybe having confidence in that if he felt like maybe he got scared of being labeled too much of one aspect over, you know, everyone's multi-layered, multifaceted. You don't want to look one-dimensional, and maybe he felt he was, but maybe he needs to reminding that that's still a strength, and he should consolidate all his strengths when he's trying to be his best self, right? So then we have Rebel and Freedom. So Rebel in the Light is challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs, and freedom. So this is again about like someone who is free, is going to keep Jeonghan free and not tied down too much to specific lifestyles or choices or commitments. He's free to be and do whatever he wants. He can be more of an activist. He can push the envelope. He can go against the system sometimes, and that's okay. Whoever he ends up with is going to be very accepting of that, or it would be ideal for them to be, right? So we have Mystic and Empowerment. Rebels in intimate union with the divine and empowerment. So just like in the career reading, how we got that final card, was it this, whichever one the air was, it 5 or 6 of air? Now I've put them away, I've already forgotten, but it was about a spiritual mentorship. So this is also reminding Jeonghan to find power and empowerment in his spiritual side. I think for many of us, once you find how you align spiritually, you find strength from that. So could be he's still searching, he's still trying to figure out what he believes in and connect to his spirit and spirit guides. And then we have the Athlete in the Shadow with life purpose. So in the shadow, it says misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. So it could say that Jeonghan may get pulled into a bit of entitlement. Again, how we were talking about in the career reading, there may be a sense of things that once came easy without him having to put in a lot of work for them. They're not going to stay that way. He's going to eventually have to work for the things he wants. It's not going to come just because he's handsome. It's not going to come just because he's in a popular group. Eventually, he's going to have to work harder for all of those things if he wants to keep them coming and to grow and move forward in his life's work. So this is like, don't rest on your laurels. Don't be lazy, right? Just don't get lazy and don't feel like you deserve it just because you exist. It's a cutthroat business, and life in general is like, if you're letting it pass you by, someone else is going to take it. So we have visionary in the light and trust. And it says, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain, and trust. So I feel like, again, we're seeing like Jeonghan needs to trust his gut, and he's also going to need someone that trusts his gut when he says things that seem out there, that they're really unique. Again, we're seeing that he may be a person that is a little left of center and has unique ways of thinking, and he wants someone who supports that and believes in him. And if he wants to try something weird and I don't want to say undone, but like not yet done or not totally accepted by society, that he's, again, with the freedom, he's free to do that. This really backs up that freedom and rebel card, with just like, he can, I don't want to say he can sense the right timing for things to be done in a more artistic or unique way, but I think it's something he wants to do, and once he has permission to do those things, it may seem like you know, out of nowhere, or I can't find the words I want to say. It's just something that may be surprising for other people because they wouldn't expect that from him, but to trust him, that, you know, he's finding himself, he's following his heart, and sometimes it's going to be a path that is less traveled and less known by a lot of other people. For some reason, I'm feeling like a lot of G-Dragon energy, where like how G-Dragon will, he seems kind of weird to a lot of people, but he also seems like a genius. And I think Jeonghan is one of the people that's going to need to trust in his genius a little bit and know that being different isn't always bad. So then we have Saboteur and career. So highlights your fear of self-empowerment. This is literally everything we've been talking about. And the changes it would bring to your life and career. So again, someone who supports him finding himself and his life's purpose. He really needs someone who is there to help guide him, because he's afraid to push himself. He's afraid of failure in a lot of ways, allegedly, and he needs to be more self-empowered. He needs more belief in himself, and I think once he figures out where he's going career-wise, then his personal life will fall into place. Because I feel like that's the personal life here, the getting along with people, meeting people, is not hard for him. It's getting his career. So he needs someone that helps him feel aligned. He needs someone who encourages him to be himself and not be scared of where his career might take him. So, you know, even this tree is out, it's away from the rest of the forest, it's out doing its own thing, but it's protected. It's like divinely protected. So Jeonghan is just his own worst enemy, and he needs someone who can help him not be. Someone who really is like, no, you just need to do it, and stop talking yourself out of it. So that's what I have for Jeonghan and his career and ideal partner. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Again, Jeonghan's energy is very focused kind of on this one issue that seems to keep popping up in his life, and until he sorts it out, it's going to affect his love life, it's going to affect his career, it's going to affect all of those things. So he needs to work on his self-confidence and believing in himself and his artistic vision and his life's purpose. So thank you again for buying this reading through the Ko-fi page. I appreciate it so much. I hope you're having an absolutely lovely day. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.